We cross the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans today on CNN Student News. I'm Carl Azus, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, U.S. First up, a trip from France to Washington, D.C. French President François Hollande stopped by the U.S. Capitol for a state visit. This is not a casual get-together for lunch. State visits have pomp and circumstance. There are welcoming ceremonies, seating assignments at dinner. Last night's event was the first state dinner of President Obama's second term. He and the French president, a socialist elected in 2012, discussed economic struggles in Europe, the civil war in Syria, and Iran's controversial nuclear program. Hollande says trust has been restored after news came out last year that the U.S. National Security Agency had spied on U.S. allies, including France. To another diplomatic meeting now in Nanjing, a city in China. This meeting is historic. It's the first time in 65 years that officials from Taiwan and China have met with each other. China's formal name is People's Republic of China. Taiwan's formal name is Republic of China. Both governments consider Taiwan to be a province of China. But while all that's pretty close, there are some differences here. Taiwan's government type is a multi-party democracy. China's is a communist state. And both say they are the legitimate rulers over all China. So you can see why there's some tension at the table of these government officials.
The delicate relationship between China and Taiwan took center stage at historic talks in Nanjing this week. The two sides agreed to a new chapter in their relationship. While no formal agreements were signed, both marked the moment as a step forward. This is the first time government officials from Taiwan and China have met since 1949. That's when the communists forced nationalists to flee to Taiwan. Since then, the island and mainland have been governed separately, both claiming to be the true government of China. While their relationship has improved since 2008, Beijing still refuses to recognize the government of Taiwan to this day. That issue was sidestepped at the meeting, and officials were addressed by their titles. And a sense of diplomacy inside the conference room. As you can see, there were no flags placed around the room. Nanjing is also a symbolic location for this meeting. It was China's capital city before the split. Pauline Chu, CNN, Hong Kong.
The United States and Iran are rivals. There are no diplomatic relations between them. The U.S. labels Iran a sponsor of international terrorism and says its nuclear program could be used to make nuclear weapons. Iran says the program is only for peaceful purposes. Ties between the two countries fell apart decades ago during the Islamic Revolution of 1979. There was a violent uprising that overthrew Iran's ruling monarchy and led to the creation of the Islamic Republic that Iran has today. The anniversary of that revolution is being celebrated in Iran this week. A new political tone seems to be coinciding with an old one.
Thousands mark the 35th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution in Tehran, a celebration that's always part gushing tribute to the Islamic Republic and part kick in the teeth to Washington.
Indeed, many here in Iran still see the U.S. government as the world's bully, and this ceremony has long been used to send a message of defiance against Washington. And that message is, we're not scared of you, and you're not going to push us around.
Chants of death to America, one of the iconic symbols of Iran's defiance, still ringing out 35 years after Washington and Tehran broke off diplomatic ties. America, you can't do a thing to us, says Zahra Elahi.
But this year, with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani pushing to improve relations with the West, you get the sense here that the tone of the anti-American rhetoric is softening just a little bit.
In his speech, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani was firm, rejecting Western sanctions and stating Iran will never give up its civilian nuclear program. But he also said Iran wants peace. We want regional countries to know Iran-phobia is a lie. Iran will never think about aggression against any country, said the president. It was a sentiment echoed by many in the crowd. It's not about attacking anyone, says Sayed Kazemi. It's about defending ourselves. If they pay attention to us, they'll see we can be good friends who can help bring peace and love all over the world, says Mortaza Dadra. Cautious calls for peace, reconciliation, and mutual respect on the anniversary of a revolution that ended U.S.-Iran relations. Perhaps an early sign that 35 years of bad feelings are finally starting to ease. Reza Sayah, CNN, Tehran.
Time for the shout out. This is a unit for measuring what? If you think you know it, shout it out. Is it loudness, resistance, elasticity, or depth? You've got 3 seconds. Go. The letters are an abbreviation for decibels, which are used to measure how loud a sound is. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
So something at 30 decibels would be pretty faint, maybe somebody whispering to you in a library. You're probably listening to me at a level of around 60 decibels right now, unless you're sitting right next to the speaker. Exposure to anything above 85 decibels for too long can cause hearing loss. So why would someone want to invent something louder than 154 decibels?
A vacuum cleaner, a freight train, 80s hair metal gods, Manowar. None of these can stand up to this monster system. It's so loud, it will literally kill you. Or at least completely rupture your eardrums. It's called the Large European Acoustic Facility, LEAF for short. It's operated by the European Space Agency in the Netherlands. They use it to simulate the rigors of spaceflight. Things like the noise from a rocket launch or the intense friction experienced while passing in and out of the atmosphere.
Tank pressures are stable.
The giant room that makes up the speaker has massive horns that can blast air so powerfully that sounds inside the room can exceed 154 decibels. That's like standing in the center of a group of jets as they take off all around it. And so the scientists don't melt their brains. The room is surrounded by steel-reinforced concrete and rubber padding. Plus, the horns won't operate unless all the doors are locked and sealed.
Welcome to the Roll Call. It's Worldwide Wednesday. That means we're going global to see who's watching CNN Student News. In Manila, Philippines, hello to the students of Santo Tomas University. Our next school is in Yerevan, Armenia, thanks to all of those watching at Quantum College Middle and High School. And we'll make our third stop in Ontario, Canada. We're glad to be part of your day at Victor Lauriston Public School. The Westminster Kennel Club hosts what it calls the world's most famous dog show. Recent winners that were awarded Best in Show include an Offenpinscher, a Pekingese, a Scottish Deerhound. They don't include any mutts. But in at least one part of this show, every dog has his day.
Finally, mutts are back at Westminster. At least they're allowed in Westminster's new agility competition that takes place before the main event. Beautiful! But how do you separate the purebreds from the mutts?
Mutt or no mutt?
Neither one of them is a mutt.
Mutt or no mutt?
No mutt.
Mutt or no mutt?
She's an Australian Shepherd.
Mutt or no mutt? This is a...
A mere question was enough to offend a purebred border collie. Out of 225 dogs competing on the agility course, only 15 were mutts.
This is a mutt.
Meet Sadie from Connecticut.
She's thrilled.
And though some of the mutts accidentally went around jumps, or seemed to be slow running the weave poles compared to the more practiced purebreds, still even the purebreds messed up. This one had to do a do-over, but once again the poles near the end proved distracting. The winner, the agility champ, was Kelso, the purebred border collie. A husky mix named Roo won for highest scoring mixed breed. They don't use the word mutt around here. Does Woody have anything against mutts?
No, not at all.
The purebreds competing without mutts for Best in Show were blissfully unaware of any breed warfare. But will Westminster ever hear of allowing mutts to have the equivalent of Best in Show? What about Best in Mutts?
No. Gotta have a standard. Oh, I love it.
And when it comes to Best Announcer, we're putting our money on Woody.
Look at you. Yes. Yes.
Ginimo, CNN, New York.
Guess now it's a mutt-see event, though some would say it's gone to the dogs. For some mixed breeds, it's a newfound land of opportunity. You knew it was going to happen Schnauzer or later, though one thing we may never know is who let the dogs out. There's no more time to Terrier. We'll beagle back tomorrow on CNN Student News.